Hello, Joel Tubman here from Golf Monthly, and I've been lucky enough to test the two new Callaway Better Player irons launched very recently. I've got the Apex MB and the new X-Forge iron. Now the X-Forge iron especially is still in a lot of tour players' bags. It's a really popular iron. It's been around for a number of years, so for the Callaway to replace it was obviously a big move, as well as the blade. Apex MB, we've seen Rory McIlroy use this before he signed for TaylorMade, a lot of other tour players using these as well. For me, the X-Forge irons were one of the best looking irons on the market for the last few years. Up there with Apex. I think Apex was a good product. In fact, Callaway makes some really good irons. So I was really interested to test these clubs to see what performance we got. I tested them both using premium golf balls, using our GC2 Launch Monitor. I've got the X-Forged in the Project X 5.5 and the Apex MB in Dynamic Gold S300. So slightly different shafts, but they are essentially the stock stiff options for both of these models. First thing to note down by the ball is they look actually very similar. They have two different finishes actually. The X-Forge has more of a kind of chromy matte finish compared to the Apex MB, which is very shiny gloss finish. I definitely prefer that matte finish compared to the gloss. The X-Forge looks marginally more inviting to hit down by the ball, but there really isn't that much in it. Perhaps it does have a slightly larger footprint, but it seems to be a similar top line. Definitely has a wider sole. You can see it there, how the sole width on the X-Forge is slightly wider. Generally, as you'd expect, a little bit more inviting to hit. Launch monitor wise, there wasn't really anything surprising in terms of performance from these clubs. I hit 10 shots with each, so 10 counting shots for each. The X-Forge did give me a touch more ball speed, a touch lower spin. The same peak height at 32 yards, but it did also give me 2 yards of extra carry, which is kind of what you'd expect from a slightly chunkier iron. It's not chunky by any means, I should say. It's still very compact, but it's slightly chunkier than the Apex MB. A little bit more meat behind the ball, going to deliver a little bit more ball speed, but still a very manageable ball flight. It's a 7-iron still spinning at 7,500, so plenty of stopping power into greens. If I had to choose between the two, it would be the X-Forge that gets the nod, just because it seems to be a slightly easier to hit. Both of them feel absolutely fantastic, incredibly soft from the middle. Callaway have really stepped it up with these irons. The original X-Forge, still used by Brandon Grace out on tour. He's still winning on tour with the older X-Forge irons. When you hit them out of the middle, I don't think you're going to see a big difference in performance, but like I said, that X-Forge, because it's a slightly larger head, a little bit more forgiving, you're probably going to see more consistent distances over a wide spectrum of data. The 10 shots I hit, actually, the difference between my shortest and longest shot with the two irons was very similar, but I think over a longer period of time you're going to experience better overall consistent performance from the X-Forge compared to the Apex MB, where you are likely to see a slightly bigger drop off in performance on those slight mishits. So if you're a better player looking to upgrade your irons in 2017 and 2018, I don't think you could really look much further than these two clubs. Absolutely fantastic feel, forgiveness, consistent performance. Coming in at £1,049 for a set, so they are fairly premium, but they're both forged. There's a lot of technology crammed into quite a short amount of metal, so if you're in the market for a new set, like I said, give them a try. I think you'll be impressed with the performance that you get.